All right, so today I'm going to discuss a simple investment strategy that you can utilize to better your life. Just a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This video is for entertainment purposes only. And now that that is out of the way, let's jump into it. So I suggest if you want a simplified life, assuming you have all your debts and mortgages paid off, all that, your life is not really a mess. You're just pretty simple. You live pretty frugally, you've saved, whatever you do, you work a simple job, everything's pretty cruisy for you, then I would suggest don't stress yourself out by complicating your finances. Just make it super simple. And this is how I would do that. First, I would invest in SCHD. This is a Charles Schwab ETF that invests in the top 100 dividend-paying stocks. It fluctuates between 100, give or take, but it pays a dividend yield of around 3 to 4%, which means you are making money on your stocks that you can either use as cash, as income, or you can reinvest back into SCHD. That's up to you what you want to do with that, but it's a great fund to have, especially during market volatility. It will be more stable because you still gain some income through the market volatility. The second fund I would choose is SCHG. So this is going to be your growth ETF. This is going to invest in growth-oriented companies, not to be confused with tech, something like QQQ, which is mostly just tech stocks. This doesn't just concentrate itself only in tech. It goes into all types of growth companies, not just exclusive to tech. So these are the main two that I would do. And I would do like a 50% to 50%. This would maximize the simplicity of your finances. The only other one I would add, which is not really an investment, but it's a great place to hold your cash for reasons that I'll discuss in a minute, is SGOV. So you could either make this very simple. So SGOV is a treasury bond ETF. It invests in US Treasury securities, and it pays you interest in the form of a dividend. So you'll get like a monthly dividend by holding your cash in SGOV instead of just holding your cash. So with this strategy, you can either make it very, very simple and simply just invest 50%, dollar cost average. Doesn't matter if the market fluctuates up or down, you just go for it, right? So here's your stock market chart. It doesn't matter if the market is going up or down. You're just investing all the time. It doesn't matter where, you're just investing. So this is your x-axis of time, and this is value. So this is your stock market. This is one strategy you could utilize. It's highly suggested to always just dollar cost average because nobody can time the market. Nobody knows if the market's going to go up or down or wherever. There's no way to predict it. So that is one way to really simplify it and make it super easy. If you want to add a little bit of pizzazz in there, I would suggest that you figure out your income. So if you're making a lot of money, maybe you'll have a different simple moving average or exponential moving average depending on how much income you're making. So what I'm saying by that is you decide, instead of just dollar cost averaging every single way around here, you can actually set up a notification, I think they have on some of these apps, like a notification that goes off, a trigger, an alert. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. Alert is what I'm looking for. So you could set off an alert where you may have a simple moving average, where your simple moving average is a 50-day and a 200-day. So when your 50-day is going here, whatever, and your 200-day is going here, when your 50-day crosses over your 200-day, that is a buying signal for you. So you'll buy there. That's what that is. And you can make this a simple moving average or an exponential moving average. The exponential moving average will be more heavily weighted to the more recent data, whereas the simple moving average will be just simple, just the simple average amongst the whole time. So I recommend both depending on your strategy, either one. So what you could do if you want to complicate it a little more than simply just dollar cost averaging 50%, say you get $1,000 every month, you put 500 in SCHD, 500 in SCHG, no matter what the market's doing, whether it's at the peak right here or whether it's at the bottom, cool. Then you're done here, everything's easy. You don't even really need to utilize SGOV to hold your cash because you're always just putting your cash into these two ETFs. So what you can do instead is just dollar cost. You could actually use your simple moving average here, and say your average goes off, like you get a trigger alert here. Then you'll start dollar cost averaging down this section here, or maybe your trigger goes off here. Then you're always hitting the bottoms or some form of the bottoms. So that way your average is lower over time. Now, the only reason you would do this is so that you can store some of your cash in SGOV. So it's getting a 4.2% interest paid in the form of dividends. You're getting your dividend payments from SCHD, but this is so that you can kind of get the maximum amount of gains from your investments without needing to have as much cash to do it. This is literally the definition of timing the market, and pretty much everybody says do not time the market. But what I'm saying is you can utilize the timing of the market to better your life. If you don't only focus on maximum gains and maximum upside, like whatever you're trying to make in your money journey, if you don't really care that much about money, you just want to be in a decent place, well, then you can always utilize this, because then you can use that cash to go to the movies or go on some trip, and you don't have to put all of your money into the market, but the money that you do put into the market, you will make it work the hardest. That is literally timing the market, but it can work out. And this simple moving average or exponential moving average will be adjusted based on how much money you make on a monthly basis. The more you make, the lower this is going to be. Maybe you want like a 13-day exponential moving average and a 48-day exponential moving average. So that way you get a lot more signals or a lot more triggers, or even less, maybe a 5 and a 10, whatever. You can change that to whatever you want it to be based on how much income you're making. If you're not making that much money, then you want to keep it fairly wide, like a 50 and a 200, because then you're not going to have as much money to invest all the time. But when you do hit those averages, or when you do hit that alert, that buy signal, you'll have way more cash stocked up. That cash will still be earning a 4.2% interest, and it'll be being paid out in dividends monthly. And whatever you already have invested in these SCHD, instead of just reinvesting it back into it, you could just hold it in SGOV. So that way, when these buying signals go off for you, you can dump that money right back into the market and try and get those maximum gains. Anyways, I think that's a lot of complicated talk for such a simple thing. I think the video started off as me giving you a simple way to tackle this, just a 2-fund ETF portfolio, utilizing SGOV if you choose, otherwise just dollar cost averaging into SCHD or SCHD. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Welcome all the discourse. So let me know if you agree or disagree, or what you think about this strategy, how you feel about it. I always answer all the comments in the comments section. Huge disclaimer, again, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is just snippets of life that I share along the way that could hopefully be beneficial to you, and life could be easier. So like and subscribe, hit that bell, and have a wonderful day.